Okay, so if you have never watched a Nostalgia Junkies episode, our this or that segment, we will be proposed with a this or that, and we need to choose whether we want this or that.
Correct.
So our first this or that, Optimus Prime or Optimus Primal?
Me,
The classic truck versus monkey debate among Transformer fans.
obviously, Optimus Primal is definitely very, very cool, but I like to keep it true to form and Optimus Prime for me.
Okay.
Just the classic, man. The big 18-wheeler truck. It's just
Convoy.
iconic.
Yeah. Convoy. Let's call him what he is.
Convoy.
He's Convoy.
Yeah.
As much as I would love to agree with you, and I love Peter Cullen's Optimus Prime, I think Optimus Primal is a better character.
Hmm.
Optimus Prime is great. He's a phenomenal leader. He was the figurehead, the dad of the group.
Correct.
There really wasn't a growth arc that we saw with Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
I feel like we do in like the Michael Bay movies, but the Michael Bay movies aren't really true to the Optimus Prime that we grew up with in the cartoons. Where I'll say this, I was not a fan of Beast Wars as a kid. I did not like the animation style. I've watched it as an adult. I'm able to get past the animation style because I've learned that there are worse animation styles.
Yeah.
Optimus Primal, when we were introduced to him at the beginning of the series, he's like a rookie commander. He's just starting out. And we see him grow and realize that he needs to not only lead for himself, but be the leaders of others.
Yeah.
And I think that, if we're talking about like the cartoon versions, it's Optimus Primal. For me, it has to be just because he had so much more growth. And as a kid that grew up watching those shows, even though I didn't really like it,
Yeah.
he was more relatable. It was hard to be a 5 or 6 year old relating to Optimus Prime because my voice was and is still not as deep as Peter Cullen's, as much as I would love it to be. But for someone that's trying to be strong, I mean, I grew up in a single parent household. I'm trying to be strong, but I don't have it all figured out. Optimus Primal was relatable.
Yeah. I could see that, but it's also about the time frame of when you were growing up too, right?
80s babies versus 90s babies.
Yeah,
man.
80s babies versus 90. Beasts were introduced later to me. I was already a little bit older, so I kind of already was phasing out of the Transformer phase, but he's still cool. Can't deny it, but yeah, I'm sorry.
So our next this or that.
Okay.
DeLorean or the Ecto-1?
DeLorean for me, man. I'm sorry. The opportunity to throw garbage and be able to fly it to any date possible, that beats anything the Ecto-1 could do. I'm sorry, man.
You gotta rescue your kids, Mommy.
Come on, DeLorean. It's classic. Ecto-1 is classic. It's a great, like, let's drive around New York station wagon, or can we just jump in this and go into the future or past? Let's do that.
Dude, I love how you started off with apologizing because I'm also DeLorean.
Yeah.
Like Back to the Future, DeLorean. It's, for me, I think it's the only right answer.
Correct.
Ghostbusters Ecto-1, very cool.
Yeah.
Be able to have the proton pack, and especially if you've watched the new Ghostbusters movie with all of the updates that they've done.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Very cool. Does not top being able to go back in time or fly.
Yeah.
Like with the DeLorean, you don't even need to go back in time. You can just fly.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's it.
There
you go.
There's no answer. I don't think there's a vehicle in any movie that could beat the DeLorean. It's tough.
So
car that we're talking about. Car.
I got you. If we take away, I'd say take away the time travel aspect. Hit from Knight Rider.
Yes. If you take, he competes, but I I like how the DeLorean looks. Just the looks
Oh,
compared to I I don't know. I would probably still pick the DeLorean. I just like the aesthetics of what the DeLorean is.
so I think it
Gold
really
wings. Come on, man.
I think it depends on what are our rules for time travel. If it's the whole Marvel cinematic, if you go back in the past, your new present becomes your whatever the whole thing that the
Yeah.
Hulk says in that one
Yeah,
scene.
yeah.
Or if it's just like, let me go back in time and use like this 1984 sports almanac to
Yeah.
predict the
Yeah,
future.
yeah.
I think it really kind of depends. Um, I would have to go Kit though. I the fact that the car is self-driving, it it has its own brain, it talks. You could put on the wing doors if you wanted to. You could customize it.
He could.
You can't create the artificial intelligence of Kit and put it in the DeLorean.
But you could though. If you go far enough into the future.
Okay. I don't know, man.
Yeah. Crossing timelines, hop into the Marvel universe,
you know what?
talk to Iron Man.
Let's just fuse them.
What that works. A DeLorean kit.
Ooh. We have one more this or that
All right,
question.
what we got?
Cassette tapes or vinyl records?
Oh man, this one is tough. This one is tough because I grew up in the cassette tape era. Um, you know, standing by the radio, making mixtapes and other stuff for your girlfriend or
Mhm.
just so you could hear on your Walkman. Vinyl, I mean, it's so cool, man. It takes you to a different era, right? The beginning of DJing with scratching, and I I I don't know, just because it's I think they're just a little bit cooler. I would go vinyl. I think vinyl is just cool as that classic um type of music
Mhm.
media. So I would go vinyl on this one, even though I grew up during the cassette tape era.
So it's funny because before you started talking, I was gonna say cassette tape. Just I feel like it's because I've also been on a cassette tape kick. I have
Mhm.
I have a boombox here in the
Me
basement,
too.
and I've just been like putting tapes in there and
Yeah.
listening to them. I love how easy it is to store and see cassette tape.
Mhm.
I don't think there has been a great way to store and see vinyl yet. Like you can line them up sideways in a bookcase,
Mhm.
but then you're not seeing the cover art.
Correct.
They take up too much space if you put them the other way because then you're seeing one and not the rest of them. So I think it kind of depends on that. However, something that I love that vinyl can do that no other form does is capture the dynamics of music.
Mhm.
Today's day and age, all of our dynamics, they're all equalized to shit. Like everything is equalized to almost the same exact level. And when I'm talking about equalization, I'm not talking about like what the volume is that you're playing. I'm talking about the musical dynamics, like your piano, your forte, your
Correct.
fortissimo, your crescendos, like everything. I could sit here and just name Italian words for an hour.
Yeah.
You don't get that on a CD. You don't get that on Spotify. You hear some of it, and
Mhm.
especially when you listen to like older classical music, like Gustav Holst Mars, you hear that swaying. And Spotify and digital listen does a great job, but when you get that on vinyl,
Yeah.
you can't
It's
recapture
different.
that.
It's definitely you can tell when you put the needle on the
Mhm.
vinyl and it starts
It's pure.
playing. It's a you can tell the difference. It's just completely different experience listening to music that way. I mean, my daughter is going to be 16 and she has a record player in her bedroom. She loves vinyl. She gets all her favorite artists.
Mhm.
If she can get them on vinyl, she grabs the vinyl. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, dude, I gotta agree with you. It's vinyl. Like vinyl is just, I don't want to say it's music perfected, but it's so enjoyable.
correct.
It's enjoyable because like you sit there and you listen through the entire thing.
Correct.
Say, I mean, we could say the same with a cassette, but cassette doesn't capture the same dynamics.
No, it doesn't.
Where like
doesn't.
nowadays, I want to listen to song 3, you click on song 3.
Right.
Let's go into our meat and potatoes for today.